Hello and namaste to all. Welcome to the Baji Rao IAS Academy. Today is 30th October and we are going to discuss the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. Today we have to discuss three important articles, okay? And when we talk about these articles, actually these all are very important for the examination point of view, and not only examination point of view, but when we talk about priority of these topics in the examination, that means the priority is also very important. And you know that the syllabus of the UPSC is very vast, but if you segregate the syllabus based on the priority, then definitely your burden will be reduced. And one more benefit you will be getting, that you can have a ample of time to revise for the another subject, okay? And how can you prioritize your subject? It is actually from your analysis of the previous year paper, okay? And we have discussed about various analysis of the paper in the recent videos, and you can watch that videos as well, okay? And this will definitely going to help you to understand the demand of the questions UPSC is asking, the orientation of topics that UPSC is focusing on, and all other ideas. And it can be possible for you only when you have an open mindedness about the analysis, about the topics, about the dimensions, okay? So these are very important and crucial part of your preparation, and for that to develop you have to practice, you have to understand in that way, you have to go into the mind of the examiner, okay, so that you can decode what and on which topic they are focusing on. So this is very important, and that's why I sometimes try to share some of the insight information that will be very beneficial for you, okay? So in today's article we are going to discuss the three topics. The first one is related to the Jehovah Witness and the recent bomb blast in Kerala. However, this is a very sad incident, but why this incident happened, we will see that, and how it can challenge our internal security, which is also very important topic in our UPSC syllabus. And I can recall that in this incident, in this bomb blast that occurred yesterday, okay, like the culprit, they prepared the bomb from the manual which was downloaded from the internet. So you can see that the role of internet, the role of cyber issues, how they can shape our internal security, okay? That is also important dimension you need to understand, that due to the information accessibility in an easier mode, and any type of informations can be accessed online, that means they can also create challenges to our internal security, to the international peace, to the national peace, and all of that, okay? So that is the important point, and that is the angle we try to understand, okay? And also we will be understanding the Jehovah Witness as a subsect of Christianity, and how does it evolved, okay? So we will be looking into that perspective one by one. And the second article is related to the speaker and their role in the parliament, okay? So we will be discussing and expanding how the presiding officer, okay, that should be impartiality, and that should be neutral in behavior, but in the recent incidents actually that impartiality are not getting reflected. So how to ensure that the presiding officer should be impartial, okay? How we can ensure that they should be away from the political influence of their political party that they are associated with. So we will be looking on all of that, and also we will be seeing that the judgment Supreme Court has given to deal with these issues, okay? And when it comes to the political reforms, you can understand that these reforms are very much delayed, and actually these are molded as per the presence of the government, as per the presence of the political party, okay? And that's why the political reforms are a very delayed phenomena. Okay, in any sphere, the reforms can occur, but when we talk about the political reforms, there are very much time taken to get reformed. For example, the recent women's reservation bill, you can understand. Okay, the concept of women's reservation in the Lok Sabha or the state legislative assembly was actually from 1996 onwards, but now the reservation has been granted to these house. Okay, so women's reservation or other political reforms, they are basically ignored or sidelined by the government, by the leaders. Okay, and that is the point. And here you can understand with this topic that even the speaker should be impartial, neutral, but they have the political affinity with respect to their political party. That means their biasness gets reflected, and that is not a good thing for the democracy. Okay, for the parliament. Okay, so that is the point, and we all are going to discuss on these topics. Hope you have understood the context. And now we will be shifting. The third article will also be related to the impartiality and the enforcement directorate. So here we will be understanding about the enforcement directorate, their origin, their functions, and how we are seeing that even in these agency, these are basically the investigation agency of the center. So how these are also molded by the government to benefit themselves for their benefit. Okay, so that is also one of the point we will be going to discuss. So today's discussion is also will be very enjoying in nature, so make sure that you are watching till the end, and also try to like, share, subscribe our channel, try to share with your friend circle, so that the PDF, the important notifications should be delivered to your Telegram channel immediately. Okay, and also YouTube notifications should be delivered to you immediately. So that is the point. So let us start our discussion, but before that we have a rapid fire session for the prelims question. So when we talk about the prelims question, you need to pause the video, try to solve the question, and not only solve but also try to observe the question which I am stating here. Okay, and then answer in the comment box or the chat box. So these are the recent questions. I think in 2023 itself it was asked. Okay, and you can also look at the dimensions of the questions they are asking the question. So when we talk about the question, consider the following statement in respect of the Constitution Day. Statement 1: the Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th November every year to promote the constitutional values among the citizens. Statement 2: on 26th November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft Constitution of India. So here you have to choose the correct statement, and you can read the statement, and here you need to understand how the statement has been framed, what the statement is saying you to answer. Okay, for example, there is a statement that the both statement can be true in option A, and also the statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. That means the statement 2 will substantiate the statement 1. Okay, and when we talk about option B, it is talking that both the statement are correct, but a statement 2 is not substantiating the statement 1. And option C is like a statement 1 is correct, but a statement 2 is incorrect, and option D is a statement 1 is incorrect and a statement 2 is correct. So here you have to understand the statement, you have to understand the option to mark the answer, otherwise you may get confused to come to the answer and you can mark the wrong answer. So please be prepared, and we will be discussing the answer to this question in the last session of our discussion video. So make sure you continue watching our series. You will get lot of benefits from these discussion. Okay, so that is the point. And be open minded. Okay, this is very important, that while you preparing for the UPSC, the mind should be open in nature, so that you can try to absorb the important things that we are delivering to you. And you can also generate your thinking points. And how can you generate? You can generate basically once you have a proper data. Okay, if you are gathering the data, try to recall the pointers. Okay, try to link the topics with the other topics. This will benefit you, like in various subjects: GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. Okay, and even optionals. So that is very important. And linking the current affairs with the syllabus, with the questions, this is like a good approach to get good marks. Okay, because the examiner will be aware that yes, you have understood and you have learned the current affairs, and you are integrating in the mains answer. That means you have a right direction and right approach. So be connected with us, try to ask questions or the doubts if any comes to your mind. Okay, we will be happy to share, to answer your comments, your doubts. So thank you, friends. Now we start our discussion, and you have a mains question and you can attempt as well. And this is associated with the current affairs. Okay, PM Kusum scheme. And PM Kusum scheme, what is the objectives and how they can promote the adoption of solar energy in the agriculture sector. Okay, so you can comment in the chat box the important pointer, the components, and how it can promote the adoption of solar energy in the agriculture sector. So basically, after like discussing the main question, now we are shifting to the analysis part. Maybe sometime the discussion becomes a little bit delayed, but it benefits you indirectly or the directly. So that's why I try to give information and basic understanding, so that your weakness in the preparation should get strengthened. Okay, you should be empowered, you should get confidence. And how confidence comes? It comes with practice, it comes with observation, it comes with analysis, it comes with reforms. So you have to become an observer and reformer both at the same time. Okay, why I am saying you try to observe this also. Okay, so friends, let's start with our discussion. So first important article is related to the speaker's impartiality or the partiality debate. Okay, and before discussion, we want to consider some of the important events that is happening. Okay, for example, the Maharashtra Assembly Speaker, they even didn't acted with respect to the disqualification petitions which was pending regarding the members since July 2022. Take another incident, the recent incident of Ramesh Bidhuri and their remarks against the Danish Ali. And basically the debate, it was very much reflected in the news, but I am not going into the political angle. But why? Because it is not required for the UPSC examination. Okay, and you can understand the context, the events, and the statement they have said. Okay, so that is the point. And here also you can see that the a speaker in action to deal with the issue. Okay, and the third incident, like the leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, they were swiftly suspended for his remarks against the Prime Minister, but it was later revoked. Okay, and another incident of 2021 Maharashtra, like the case of Maharashtra Assembly suspending 12 BJP MLAs in 2021. So what I am trying to say you all these incidents showcase that the impartiality nature of the speaker, whether it is related to the Lok Sabha or whether it is related to the state legislative assembly, is not visible. Okay, That means political biasness are reflected in the decision, in the actions, in the inactions. Okay, so that is the point, and this is also very important. And you can quote various examples. It is not only that these two three examples are sufficient. You can quote more than that. You can link to the past and give your example to the present. That will substantiate your conformity here. Okay, so this is the case. So when we talk about the role of a speaker, okay, so a speaker should be impartial or partial. Yes, a speaker should be impartial, should be neutral. Why? Because they are the leader, the presiding officer of the house. So they play a very important role regarding the conduct of the business, regarding the declaration of a bill to be a money bill, regarding maintaining the peace in the house. But if there is a impartiality, these all functions will be disturbed. These all functions will be performed based on partition basis. So that is not good for the harmony and welfare of the democracy. So that is one important point. Okay, so here we will be discussing from the basics, like the origin of the a speaker, okay, along with the functions they perform and the issues that the presiding office is facing, and how we can deal with it. Okay, so these are the important questions that we are going to answer, but you can also think into your mind and try to find these answers. Okay, so when we talk about the origin of a speaker, actually the origin of a speaker is from the British origin. Okay, and in 17th century, okay, when there was a system of king and house of commons in Britain. So basically, between the communication between these two important personality or the body or the institution, there was a need to have a communicator, so that the king's voice to be communicated to the house of commons or the vice versa. So the linkage was like the role of a speaker cam. Okay, so that means the speaker that time was a dependent to the king. Okay, was an agent of the crown. I am talking about the Britain. Okay, but since mid 19th century, the speaker has been considered to be an impartial chairman of the House of Commons. House of Commons is basically like in India we have the Lok Sabha. Okay, in Britain we call them as House of Commons. Okay, so that is the point. So from partial to impartial, we have seen in the history of Britain. Okay, but when we talk about India, tell me, when was the office of a speaker originated? Does it originated after independence, or it originated before independence during the British era? If they originated during the British era, then from which of the Government of India Act or the regulation the origin of a speaker lies, the mentions? Okay, so try to give the answer. Okay, that is a very important question, and it can be a most probable question for the UPSC prelims. Okay, so that is the point. And when we talk about the functions, whether there are varieties of functions performed by the speaker, and when we talk about a speaker, try to understand both at the level of union government, that means at the level of parliament, and at the level of the state legislature as well. So when we talk about the functions, so they perform the conduct of the business of the house, so that the conduct of the business should be peaceful, should be like a smoothly, so that no disturbance can occur. But what are you seeing in the present context? Can you link that? And another functions, like they are custodians of the rights and privileges of the house. And another, when we talk about with respect to India, there are two important functions that are performed by them, like certifying a bill to be a money bill, and another important functions like the decision on disqualification of a member under the 10th schedule. Okay, so we will be discussing about the 10th schedule as well, but here there is a question for you. Tell me, what are the conditions to be qualified a bill as money bill. Okay, and regarding the money bill, whose decision will be of utmost importance. Okay, whether there is any role of Rajya Sabha in the money bill or not. Okay, and if money bill is not passed, what will happen to the present government? So these are the questions. Try to answer. This will open up your mind and this will open up your thinking process. Okay, that's why from time to time I want to ask question from you. Okay, so that is the point. And when we talk about this article basically focuses on the issues of disqualification that are governed under 10th schedule. Okay, so what this article says that despite the speaker have the power to disqualify a member of the house under the 10th schedule based on the given conditions. Okay, but the presiding officer makes partiality in deciding these cases. And the examples we have quoted above in the above slide actually substantiate these points. Okay, so that is the important outcome of this article. So when we talk about the basics of the 10th schedule, we are talking about the basic that is also very important for the prelims point. So they are basically inserted in the constitution via 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1985. Okay, and why it was inserted to deal with the defection. And when we talk about defection, that means the member of a political party, they try to defect, they try to shift to the another party. Okay, so that makes the government unstable. Okay, so that's why to deal with the defection, there was a law which was brought in the constitution in the parliament, and that aimed to curb the defection. Okay, so that is the point. And there are provisions related to the disqualification of MP and MLA, even MLCs, member of legislative councils, on the ground of defection. Like if a member of a political party voluntarily gives up the member of the political party, they will be said as defected. Okay, and another are like if he votes or abstains from voting contrary to any direction issued by the original political party without prior permission, so it can also be qualified as defection. And the another important thing which was asked in UPSC prelims as well, like if an independent member, okay, independent member, that means they are not associated with any political party, they have a stand up in the constituency as an independent member. So if they join any party, okay, they will be disqualified. And when we talk about the nominated member that are nominated by the president or the governor, okay, and if they join any political party after 6 months, they will be disqualified. And let's say after nomination and within 6 months they try to join any political party, within 6 months they will not be disqualified, but after 6 months they will be disqualified. So these all are the provisions under the 10th schedule, and hope you understood all the basics. So that is the important point. And here these all are the provisions and these are the powers given to the presiding officers. But here these disqualification provisions are utilized as per the interest of the political party and the speaker who are associated with the political party. So that means their neutrality in deciding the case gets affected. And here you can also see that the disqualification case and the fastening of the proceeding are more visible in case of opposition party rather than the ruling party. Okay, So that is the point. And there are another issue like the speaker is the authority to refer bills introduced to the parliamentary standing committee. Okay, but here you can see that in the decade as compared to the previous decade, the number of bills which were referred to the committee also shrinked in the present decade. Like between 2004 to 2014, there was 60% of the bills was referred to the committee. As compared to the present decade, only 25% bills are referred. Okay, so that means it affects the robust parliamentary functioning. And as per French writer Jean Baptiste Alphonse Kerr, who said a very important like a statement, like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Like we have introduced the anti-defection to deal with the defection, but what we are seeing, like even the defection is getting occurred. Okay, and it is like adopting direct and indirect methods. Okay, so these are the points. So hope you understood. And then how to curb the impartiality, how to protect the impartiality of the presiding officer. So basically here you can quote some of the important judgment of the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court in Kesham Meghchandra Singh versus the Honorable Speaker Manipur 2020 case, they recommended that Parliament should amend the constitution, and by amending it, they should vest these powers in an independent tribunal. Okay, and that tribunal should be headed by judge. Okay, that means you built an independent tribunal, and that independent tribunal will decide the a speaker, the presiding officer. That is an important point. Another suggestion is like adopting the Britain's concept of a speaker. And when we talk about Britain's concept of a speaker, what the a speaker and what is the basic backings of the speaker is that in the Britain, the speaker does not have any linkage with the political party. That means when a person assumes the office of a speaker, that means if even he or she was associated to any political party, he has to remove that association. He has to disassociate from the political party. Okay, so that their independency and neutrality should be maintained. So that is the important point. And this should be adopted in India as well, because when we talk about the provision in India, so despite we have a provision that a speaker can resign from their political party on being elected as a speaker, but this is not a mandatory thing. But in Britain, this is a mandatory thing. And what happened due to this, that the speaker till date never are disassociated from the political party while elected as a speaker. Okay, so that is the point, and that is the difference between Britain's speaker and the speaker or the presiding officer in India. Until then, a speaker must follow impartiality. Okay, if the reforms until and unless doesn't happen, the speaker need to follow the impartiality. And this is the end of the article. And now we are shifting to the GS paper 2, and that is related to the recent bomb blast which occurred in Kerala. Okay, and in Kerala we have a district called Ernakulam. Okay, so in that district there was a convention, okay, which was occurred where the Jehovah Witness, a subsect of Christianity, okay, they accumulated here about 2000 population. Okay, and they attended the convention. Okay, and suddenly there was a bomb blast, there was an explosion, and because of that explosion there was a death of 2 person. Okay, and it damaged about 41 persons. Okay, so that is the point. So here we try to understand about the Jehovah Witness, but you should understand that the person who blasted, basically who did these incident, once upon a time they were associated with this subsect. Okay, but after 2016 that person disassociated from this subsect. And why they disassociated? Because in his statement as recorded in the Facebook, okay, video, so he tried to say that this subsect basically promotes anti-nationalism feeling. So this was the point that was called by this accused. Okay, so we will be discussing in detail, but these type of incident to challenge our internal security. Okay, these incidents showcase that the peace is a necessity, and to ensure that the right mentality is needed, the right directions is needed. Okay, so that is the point. And I have already told you that the bomb making manual was downloaded from the internet. So that is also important point to understand, that how the internet, although we use for the beneficial purpose, but can also be utilized for threatening the security, threatening the peace and stability of a nation. Okay, because the information available on the internet is like an ocean, and you can extract anything from that. Okay, that can be a good, that can be a bad. So that is the important context I have highlighted. Okay, so when we talk about this Jehovah Witness, basically these are a Christian sect. But when we talk about how it is different from the main Christian sect, actually they are not believing in the Holy Trinity. And what do you mean by Holy Trinity? It means simply that the Son and the Father and the Holy God, they are equal. Okay, they are equal means they are one and only one. Okay, but when we talk about this Jehovah Witness, they does not believe in the Holy Trinity. That means they treat Jesus Christ as the uh, part of the Holy God, but the Holy God is superior. Okay, they worship Jehovah as the one true and almighty God, that is the creator, and who is also the God of Abraham, the Moses, and the Jesus. Okay, so that is the point. And when we talk about another important belief system, so they believe only on the text of the Bible, what is written in the Bible, that is the true. Okay, so that is the thing. And for spreading their religious philosophy understanding, they campaign door to door. Okay, and also when we talk about with respect to India, so in India there are substantial population that follows Jehovah Witness, and these are also like living in the Kerala as well. Okay, and when we talk about like constitutional guarantee, yes, like this community do enjoy the constitutional guarantee as guaranteed under Article 25. Tell me, what do you mean by Article 25? Okay, and this community was in news from the earlier times as well because of the unique behavior. Okay, what is the unique behavior? And there was a Supreme Court case regarding this community. We will be discussing that as well. Okay, so when we talk about unique behavior, like they doesn't believe in the political affiliation, that's why they does not take part in the like election, or even they do not vote, even like any official like they do not try to engage in the government office. Okay, so these all are the things. And also when we talk about national anthem, so they does not sing the national anthem. Okay, why they does not sing the national anthem? It is because the national anthem, as per them, is a prayer, and this community only prays for the Jehovah. Okay, so that is the point. And regarding this issue, regarding the issue of national anthem, this matter was went to the Supreme Court as well. Okay, so basically from there, Supreme Court guaranteed protection under Article 25 of the Constitution, that despite these are a community, okay, but they have the right to be protected under Article 25, that is their religious belief, okay, and their propagation. So that is the point. And this is the issue. There are many more things, and you can read more about that. Okay, so that is the point. Hope you understood. And now we are shifting to another article, that is Article 3. Okay, and that is also related to the issue of partiality, impartiality in the the investigation officers, investigation bodies, whether it is ED, whether it is CBI. So this is talking about the enforcement directorate, but you can link with the CBI, the NIA, and other things. Okay, so basically this will be covered in the GS paper 2. And when we talk about enforcement directorate, so these are not a statutory body, but what they do actually, like they deal with the case of money laundering, okay, the issue of black money and all of that. So now the election is approaching, and you can see that the ED are getting active in dealing with the cases with the political leaders. And when we talk about dealing with the cases with political leaders, you can observe that these political leaders, whether belonging to the ruling party or the opposition party, so basically from the opposition party, okay. So this article raised concern that the issue of corruption or the money laundering do only exist in the leaders of the opposition party, or there can be a cases for the ruling party members as well. Okay, so then there can be a cases for the ruling party members, but why the ED or the CBI they does not actually try to investigate into that members? So that represents what? Impartiality here. Okay, so that was the point which was raised. So the Enforcement Directorate, which is a central agency that stands accused of selective targeting of the opposition leader. You remember this keyword, selective targeting, okay? And also, when we talk about incident in the state, so you can also observe the state which is ruled by the opposition party, okay? There, the incident of raid and the investigation is much more visible. You can see that ED suspect corruption only in the opposition ruler state, not in the state where there is collaboration between the central government and the state government. Okay, and due to all of these, what happens that governance and democracy are undermined. And why undermined? Because the rule of law is weaponized against the political statement. This is also very important keyword. You can understand that here what is seeing, a rule of law is weaponized against the political opponents. Okay, and you can see that election are approaching. And one more thing you can understand, that when election comes, and let's say the image of a political leader get disturbed, whether due to the charges or whether due to the investigations, then there can be a chance that what you may have preferred to vote for them, you may not vote because of the charges that are framed onto that personality. The article doesn't say that you should not investigate, you should investigate, but with the neutral nature. Okay, you can also investigate the cases related to the members of the ruling party, but this is not visible. So try to understand the core of the article that they are talking about. Okay, so basically the conclusion is that we have the current legal regime that talks about fighting corruption, terrorism, but these are not reflected in a neutral way. Okay, and These are the persons on which the cases are being reflected. Actually, these are the persons that are inconvenient for the ruling party. So that is the crux of this article. And when we talk about the enforcement directorate basics, so here you have to learn from the prelims point of view. So when we talk about enforcement directorate, actually it is a multidisciplinary organization, okay, and they are mandated with an investigation of offense of money laundering and violation of foreign exchange laws, okay, and foreign exchange related provisions under are dealt under which act? Can you tell me in the comment section? Okay, so when we talk about functioning, so it is basically under the Department of Revenue, and Department of Revenue comes in the Ministry of Finance, and it is not a statutory body. Remember that there is overall ministry on the top, and below the ministry we have various departments, okay. So that is the point. So we have the Department of Revenue, but Department of Revenue comes under which ministry? It comes under Ministry of Finance, okay. Remember Ministry of Finance as well. So when we talk about its genesis, like this body was formed on 1st May 1956 as an enforcement unit, but it was renamed as Enforcement Directorate in 1957, and that time the administrative control was also transferred to the Department of Revenue, okay. So when we talk about a structure, the headquarters is in Delhi and headed by ED, that is the Director of Enforcement, and we have five regional offices, but you don't need to remember the regional offices. There are also zonal offices, sub-zonal offices, but no need to remember, okay. And when we talk about the recruitment, so basically they are directly drawn from other investigating agency as well, and it can comprise the officers of IRS, Indian Revenue Officer, or the Indian Police Services, or the Indian Administrative Services. Tenure is 2 years, and directors tenure can be extended from 2 years up to 5 years as well. So there are statutory functions, and you can read that, like they have the power to deal with the issues related to the provisions of Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act 1974, okay, and also Prevention of Money Laundering Act, also Fugitive Economic Offender Act. So any of the provisions if gets violated, the ED has the duty to investigate on these matters, okay. So that is the point. And you can read about the jurisdiction of enforcement directorate when we talk about Foreign Exchange Management Act and Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So here the ED have all India power, okay, and ED can take action against any person. And when we talk about the FEMA case, they are dealt in civil courts, while the PMLA case they are dealt in the criminal courts, okay. And remember one important thing, ED, the Enforcement Directorate, cannot act on its own, and that means a complaint to another agency or the police is required for the investigation. Hope you understood the basic. These are very important for the prelims. Try to remember that, okay. So that is the point, and that is the end of the article. Hope you understood. Now we are coming to the solution of the prelims question. So when we talk about the question, so you can understand that the statement 1 is correct, because when we talk about Constitution Day, so it is celebrated on 26th of November, okay, and the significance of 26th of November you can remember from the preamble statement. What does the preamble state? That the day of 26th of November we do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves the Constitution. That means on this date the Constitution was adopted. However, when we talk about the actual implementation, so the actual implementation was on 26th of January 1950, okay. So don't be confused regarding the adoption and actual implementation, and this was a question in the UPSC prelims as well, okay. So that is the point. And when we talk about a statement 2, you can see that on 26th of November 1949 the Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Yes, we know that the drafting committee chairperson was B.R. Ambedkar, but it wasn't set up on 26th November 1949. But on this date, actually, all the provisions of the constitution was made actually, and that means the drafting committee which was interested to make the draft of the constitution, that should be formed more than earlier than this date. So it was formed in 29 August 1947, not on 26th November 1947. Okay, and if the date was 29th August 1947, then the statement 2 was correct, otherwise it is incorrect. Okay, so that means the statement 2 is incorrect and a statement 1 is correct, and hence the option C becomes the correct one. So when we talk about the drafting committee and the members, you should remember that there were total 7 members, like the Aladi Krishna Swami Iyer and Gopal Swami, B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of this drafting committee, and K.M. Munshi, Muhammad Sadiullah, B.L. Mitta, and D.P. Khaitan. And tell me, which two person was replaced by the two newer person in this constituent assembly because of the health issue and because of the death? Although the answer is provided here, but you can recall if you have read about it. Okay, so that is the end of the article. Hope you understood in detail. We will be discussing the next series in the coming days. For now, thank you friends, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this discussion, and if you liked it, please do like, share, comment, and also join our Telegram channel. Thank you very much.